Did you know that colorectal cancer is the third most common cancer diagnosed in the United States? In 2022 alone, there'll be more than 106,000 new cases of colon cancer. It's natural to be frightened when you receive a colon cancer diagnosis, but thanks to modern medicine, treatment, and certain lifestyle changes, those with colon cancer can fight this deadly illness. Proper nutrition is vital when you're fighting colon cancer. When you have colon cancer, you must avoid certain foods that can likely aggravate it. In today's video, we'll discuss the foods you should avoid if you have colon cancer. Why are fried foods an absolute no? What about carbonated beverages? We'll talk about all of these and more. Let's begin with avoiding foods high in sugar. Ice creams, cakes, and candies, we all love them. But if you have colon cancer, you'll have to find a way to say goodbye to foods loaded with sugar. Eating foods high in sugar can lead to health challenges like diabetes and obesity. But sugary foods have an even more devastating effect on people fighting colon cancer. Even if you don't have cancer, you should reduce eating such foods as they increase the risk of getting cancer in the future. For one, foods such as sweets and desserts usually take the place of more nutritious food. Instead of eating vegetables or lean meats, you might end up satisfying your hunger cravings with a high-sugar food. High-sugar foods also lead to obesity, which further increase the chance of colon cancer. You may not even realize you're eating foods high in sugar. For instance, 2 tablespoons of barbecue sauce, around 28 grams, contains roughly 9 grams of sugar. That's about a third of its weight. Fruit juice is another food that you may think is healthy. But unless you choose those labeled 100% fruit juice, you won't be doing yourself any favors. Sweetened fruit juice has about the same sugar content you'd find in a carbonated soda. Fruit juices are a no-go. But what about other beverages? Time to give up on carbonated beverages. It's pretty difficult to imagine eating a delicious pizza without a glass of soda on the side. But when it comes to safeguarding your health, you must make some difficult decisions. Carbonated beverages should be limited even if you don't have colon cancer. Sugary drinks are by far the worst source of sugar. It's one of the leading dietary explanations for chronic diseases such as obesity and type 2 diabetes. These chronic diseases go hand in hand with cancer. Research has shown that drinking sugar-sweetened carbonated beverages increases the chance of reoccurrence in people with colorectal cancer. These carbonated beverages also raise the chances of death among people with colorectal cancer. Carbonated beverages can be responsible for other types of cancer as well. A study on more than 60,000 adults showed that those who had at least 2 sugary sodas in a week are 87% more likely to get pancreatic cancer than those who did not drink soda. Research has also showed that postmenopausal women who drank sugary sodas had a much higher chance of getting endometrial cancer, cancer that occurs in the inner lining of the uterus. People who have colorectal cancer or are recovering from it should avoid carbonated beverages and sugary drinks as much as possible. You can swap these unhealthy beverages with lemon and cucumber water. Even better, opt for green tea. Sugary foods and carbonated beverages usually pair with processed junk food high in trans fats. But there's one specific type of processed food you need to avoid, like the plague. Avoid processed meat whenever possible. Bacon and hot dogs sure are delicious, but unfortunately, when you eat these processed meats, you're jeopardizing your health. Experts have classified processed meat as a carcinogen. Carcinogens can raise the risk of cancer. Those who already have colon cancer should avoid having cured and processed meat, as it increases the chance of a reoccurrence. Cold cuts and meats such as bacon can have chemicals that can cause damage to the lining of your colon. People with colon cancer already have a sensitive colon, so eating these meats can cause your symptoms to flare up even more. Research has shown that people who eat processed meat are more likely to get bowel and stomach cancers. Studies have shown eating a high amount of red meat raises the risk of colorectal cancer as well. Along with an increased cancer risk, processed meats also are responsible for other health issues. It can increase your blood pressure and raise the risk of heart disease. It can be challenging to cut processed meat from your diet. Try swapping processed red meat with chicken or turkey. Moving on, it's better you avoid foods high in saturated fat as well. You usually find saturated fat in animal products like milk, cheese, and butter. Similarly, meats such as poultry, beef, pork, and lamb would also be high in saturated fat. Experts suggest that you should have only about 5 or 6% of saturated fats among the calories you consume every day. If you have too much saturated fat, you risk raising your LDL cholesterol, otherwise known as harmful cholesterol levels, higher. Research has shown that overeating saturated fats can result in cancer and other health issues such as increased inflammation and mental decline. If your diet is high in saturated fat, processed meat, and sugary baked goods, you could put yourself at a higher risk for health complications. Giving up the next food we have on our list might be more challenging than you think. Fried foods are not for you. Fried plantains, deep-fried chicken, and deep-fried soft crab can easily make our mouths water. But before you reach out to grab a piece or two, you must know that fried foods are an absolute no-go if you have colon cancer. Deep frying foods is common, especially in restaurants and fast food chains, as it's an easier and cheaper way of making food. French fries and chicken strips are some of the popular foods around the world. But it's not just them. You can deep fry nearly all food. Fried food is popular among people as they tend to be very tasty. But at the same time, they add a lot of calories to your diet and tend to be high in trans fat. Eating such foods too frequently can cause health-related issues. When you have colon cancer, you should avoid fried foods as they're difficult to digest for your body. They remain in your stomach for a long time and can increase the risk of acid reflux. Fried foods also tend to aggravate symptoms related to colon cancer and worsen side effects from chemotherapy, such as nausea and diarrhea. Fried foods are cooked at very high temperatures, which releases a toxic substance called acrylamide. Research has shown that this substance can be responsible for causing different types of cancer. Consistently eating fried foods can also cause other health-related issues such as diabetes and obesity. These chronic diseases are also linked with cancer, so it's vital to avoid such foods. Avoiding fried foods can also help reduce your chances of getting heart disease. Along with fried foods, we recommend cutting out sugary fruit juices and carbonated drinks from your diet. But what about the most common beverage many people drink first thing in the morning? You need to watch your caffeine intake. Many people need their daily dose of caffeine in the morning before they can even think about working or doing any of their morning chores. But people who have colon cancer should try to avoid caffeine as much as possible. Drinking coffee when you have colon cancer can aggravate your symptoms. You may end up having frequent bouts of nausea and diarrhea. You'll further worsen your insomnia, a side effect of chemotherapy. Flavored coffee has become a popular trend. But you should avoid these at all costs as they contain a considerable amount of hidden sugar. Most chains have about 45 grams of sugar in a large serving of coffee. That's about 11 teaspoons of sugar. Last on our list, alcohol. We all love to unwind for the day with a glass of wine in hand. But if you're fighting colon cancer, you have to stop drinking alcohol. Experts suggest that drinking even small amounts of alcohol can raise the chances of developing mouth or throat cancer. You're also at a higher risk of developing breast cancer and esophageal cancer. If you're taking medication as part of a colon cancer treatment, minimize your alcohol consumption as much as possible. Alcohol reacts poorly with medication. It would be to your benefit if you stop drinking alcohol altogether. Drinking alcohol while taking medication could result in heartburn and acid reflux. Research has shown that about 5% of all new cancer cases were due to alcohol use. The same study also determined that about 5% of deaths from cancer are due to alcohol consumption. People with colon cancer should stay away from any alcohol, as even a minimal amount of drinking can turn out to be fatal. A cancer diagnosis indeed sends chills down the spine. But your best bet against it is early diagnosis. Are you interested in knowing more about cancer? Let's keep the conversation going with a couple more videos, shall we? Watch 7 most deadliest cancers. You can also try our video on early warning signs of colon cancer you should not ignore. Go ahead, click one. Or better yet, watch both and learn more about cancer and its early warning signs. Are you planning on cutting any of these foods from your daily diet? Let us know in the comments below.